This is the next big project. Set of wheels for a 200-mile-an-hour small tire drag car. Okay, so it's been a while since I checked in and did a video. Been really busy in the shop with a bunch of well, actually design work in the office, and then I've got a lot of production work in the shop as well. Nothing really exciting. So I thought I'd do a little sneak peek at what the next fun project's going to be. This is a little project that I'm going to do after hours for a good friend of mine. It's already half done, and this was done probably a year ago when we started this. Pretty involved project, and what it is my friend Sean is building a drag car. It's a Fox body Mustang, and it's going to be a small tire car. Yeah, this car is being built over at Enterprise Motorsports. Mike Wallace doing the construction on the chassis, and it'll be powered by a Coyote, and I believe it's got a power glide transmission. I've worked with Mike on a project or two, and the last thing I think we did was I did some design work on a 9-inch fabricated housing that I think he uses. He may have done some tweaks to it to get it to function properly, but I did give him some flat drawings and whatnot to start putting one of these things together. Mike's a good guy. He's very skilled, and if anybody out there needs some chassis work done, he's the place to go. The tuner's going to be Drew at AED in Idaho. This will be a serious effort. I'll put a link to Mike's place and Drew's shop in the description. So if anybody needs either Coyote-based tuning stuff or really high-quality chassis fabrication, yeah, they're the place to go. So these run a very specific tire and wheel package, and Sean didn't want the same weld wheels that everybody runs, so he found a local place in California, Sanders Engineering, and they make beautiful wheels. So he went down and talked to Glenn and purchased a set of wheels on the spot. Problem is, really want to have 17-inch wheels on the front of this car. Just like the look of them. Fills out the wheel well with a smaller diameter tire. It just looks good. So the question was, Glenn, do you make a set of 17s? And the answer was no. So my immediate response was, Glenn, if we make a set of 17s, will you help us out so that we can make them look the same with like center caps? And then we had no idea how to go about getting the same surface finish that he uses. So I said, will you run them through your process to black anodize them? And awesome guy. He was more than willing to do this. So we went ahead and bought a pair of hoops, and the wheels are going to be 4 inches wide, and they're going to have spun hoops, 40 bolts holding them to a wheel center that we have designed and machined, rough machined. It's gone off for Glenn, his Sanders Engineering's proprietary kind of polish and black anodize, and now it's back. And what we need to do now is the contrast cut and go ahead and tap and helicoil 80 holes around the perimeter of these wheels. So this can be a super fun project. So here you can see the super rough fixture plate that I kind of just took some scraps and welded to a larger plate where I knew the hub interface would go and all of the perimeter bolting would go. Went ahead and machined this down after it was mounted to the table of the CNC. I flattened everything off, and Yeah, bolted it down and made this wheel center. I've left this little arrow mark telling me which way is in the machine, you know. Yeah, so this was a little fixture that some people make some really fancy stuff, and this was just a bunch of cobbled junk. And a channel I follow on YouTube, NYCNC, John ran a contest, Saunders Machine Works, and yeah, I submitted this little fixture, and they picked it as a winner for your best fixturing. And I said it's not my best, but it is effective and gets it done. It's a good example of how to build a fixture that's cheap and effective. There's enough talk. What does the wheel look like? So here we go. This is where we're at right now. So you can see the face is not flat. We did all that with a 1/2-inch ball mill, and I think I did a radial and a circular cut to get that done. And then to get it this smooth, I simply just put it in the lathe, spun it, and hand finished it before I cut into these windows. So it was actually shiny to the point where it was basically a mirror. Very polished, beautiful finish. Then we mounted it back in the fixture and did all the cutouts. So all we have to do is here's a look at the typical lug nut that goes in something like this. Now this is aluminum. The lug nut is contrast cut, so it's gone off for black anodizing, and then they come back and they do a little pretty contrast cut, basically, so you can see the raw aluminum. The wheel is also going to be contrast cut, so you can see that the lug nut goes in, but it's kind of just won't sit down in that little pocket right there. So what we have to do is come in here and open up this pocket and finish this off in silver, machine the black anodizing off, open this pocket up, and then follow all of these little patterns along the perimeter and make that the aluminum color. And of course, drill and tap, helicoil tap all of these holes and install helicoils. Okay, now the two rim halves, the two spun rim halves are going to come off. The back one will come off of this front face of the wheel and work its way back to the tire interface. The front one will bolt to the front face and work its way out to the tire interface. This is going to have about, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's about a 2.5-inch back spacing, roughly. It's very flat on the back side. Just a tiny little step right there. And that's to clear, in this case we're using lamb brakes. So that's to clear lamb brakes. And this is a bolt-on setup, not spindle mount. A little bit more street oriented. The idea was to maybe someday drive this thing on Hot Rod Drag Week or Rocky Mountain Race Week. So we were looking for something that's a bit more street oriented. If we were to bend a wheel, we could always find a set of wheels and bolt them on and keep moving. But if you're spindle mount, that's a little more difficult to do. So what is holding these rim halves to this wheel center? And these are titanium, 12-point titanium, and there's the whole package. This is $1,000 worth of bolts, but it's absolutely the lightest way to do this. We've also got tie washers and a giant bag of helicoils, and I also have the helicoil installation tool right here as well. So yeah, this is going to be the next project, and we hope you really enjoy this. hope it's informative. I hope it drags in a little bit more of an audience, expanding us into the into what my interests really are, and that's motorsports. I know I have the motorcycle project back in the garage that I got to get into, and there's also a 1932 Ford Roadster that needs to be built. It has a all aluminum Ford 427 with a supercharger, a 671 blower. We have to put that thing together. That's going to be a heck of a project. So there it is. This is the next project. Set of wheel centers for a 200-mile-an-hour small tire drag car. Yeah, this is going to be super fun, and hope it's going to drag some new people into the channel, get us some more subscriptions, so this grows and becomes a bigger deal. Some big news coming up is that I also am going to be getting a new CNC machine. It appears, unless everything falls through, but right now it looks like it's a budget item. So we're going to be getting a Haas VF2 SSYT with a trunnion. So 4 and 5 axis stuff. Big news. Yeah. So there it is. We'll let you go. Make it a quick video. Everybody, Merry Christmas, and look forward to working on this over the holidays.